Hello, and welcome to our Investor Showcase event for Seraphim Space in Europe and Generation Space in the US. I'm Sam Bird, Accelerator Manager here at Seraphim Space.
And I'm Rob Desborough, Managing Partner at Seraphim Space and CEO of Seraphim Space Accelerator. Today you find us at our head office in central London, and it's here that we look to wrap up another incredible journey with our most recent intake of startups. Here we'll also be joined by a few other team members to tell you more about our plans throughout 2023 and beyond, including a few exciting announcements. Over the years, our programmes have demonstrated critical industry support for cohort teams, leading alumni to raise an incredible $240 million in fundraising across more than 90 investors from around the world. And whilst we are very proud of these figures, we see this as only the beginning of our journey.
Our vision is for a truly global accelerator programme. By bringing together pioneering teams and leaders of industry, Seraphim provides the perfect launchpad for our startups as they look to become the dominant forces in their respective sectors. Mission 10 has been record-setting, not only for the number of startups we've supported, but also for the number of nations represented. And whilst this showcase wraps up Mission 10 and the Accelerator's engagement with our startups, it is by no means the end.
To tell you more about our ongoing support for our alumni teams, over to Zainab, Startup and Venture Lead.
Thank you, Rob. At Seraphim, our track record for identifying and supporting the market's leading startups has led us to where we are today. On the verge of completing our 10th accelerator, we have seen huge growth within the alumni over the last few years. Our alumni are in the midst of an exciting period of growth, generating millions in revenue, launching their technologies into space, and developing key commercial partnerships. To support this, we've been busy at work behind the scenes to provide our alumni and portfolio teams with the structure and means of effectively raising investment to continue their global expansions. Today, we're pleased to announce that we are going live with our new investment platform. The online Generation Space platform brings together a community of leading investors and entrepreneurs building the next generation of category-defining space companies from all around the world. Via the Generation Space platform, you can directly invest in alumni investment rounds, access key funding materials, and view firsthand the momentum behind these companies. Our platform also aligns each alumni company against the sustainable development goals they are tackling as they solve problems across a number of global issues. Alongside our in-house expertise, we will once more demonstrate that the teams coming through our accelerator will be provided with the best in-class tools and resources. We're pleased to have sourced all of our alumni at the earliest stages of their development, from university spin-outs to experienced entrepreneurs starting new ventures. And now we're excited to welcome our Mission 10 cohort to this leading community of early-stage space tech companies. Back to you, Sam and Rob.
Thank you, Zainab. As you can see, we are extremely excited about the shape of our future here at Seraphim, and we cannot wait to take you all along with us. And now, time for our first batch of pitches from the Mission 10 cohort. Having just completed our accelerator, we're proud to be bringing you 9 of the best early stage businesses from across the globe.
We're keen for you to listen and engage with our teams post-showcase. Please feel free to reach out to any and all of the teams you see today. Alternatively, contact us and we're more than happy to connect you. Kicking us off, we have 3IPK telling us more about their blockchain solution and space. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Juraj Zamečník and I'm a co-founder at 3IPK, a startup transforming the aerospace supply chains. Indeed, we are disrupting a market worth more than $1.2 trillion. We have product in market with major aerospace companies and institutions, including the European Space Agency, Airbus, and Thales Alenia Space. Our company stems from my own experience, having previously worked at Airbus and Airbus Defence and Space, where I have experienced the pressing and current issues related to data integrity and supply chain traceability in aerospace supply chains. So what is the problem? The aviation and space industry is a huge one, worth more than $1.2 trillion. The aerospace products are very complex, made out of thousands and millions of parts and components, which are designed and delivered by huge and deep global supply chains. At the same time, There is high requirement in terms of safety and reliability, which are of paramount for the very existence of our industry. Safety and reliability are demonstrated only by reviews of gigantic amount of data flowing through the global supply chain. Let me illustrate this with the following map, showing flow of a single data file through one single major aerospace organization. Each point on this map represents manual work related to data validation in terms of establishing traceability and verifying integrity of received and transmitted data. And this situation is multiplied at every level of the huge global supply chain. This results into a huge amount of data managed in silos across organizations, lack of interconnection of supply chain systems, and potential safety impacts when there are gaps in data integrity and traceability. All this has for effect major waste of more than 20% of any program cost. As an example, for an A350 program which is worth $12 billion or Artemis worth $100 billion, the saving potential is overwhelming. So what do we propose? We propose to remove this waste using 3IPK single point of truth platform based on blockchain technology. We effectively allow for generation of digital fingerprints of any data, a sort of digital mirror of this data, and we store these digital fingerprints, so-called hashes, in an immutable blockchain database, and we make them available to the rest of the supply chain so that the stakeholders can verify the integrity and traceability of their data. This is how we save billions. We are a very practical company, having our solutions in place with Airbus, the European Space Agency, or Thales Alenia Space. There is more than $10 billion spent yearly on data management systems, 60% of which in the US, MENA, and Europe regions away. Assuming 10% market penetration, we believe we can reach revenues of more than $620 million yearly. And this is only our core market. There are other industries which share the similar traits in terms of safety requirements and complexity of supply chains, such as automotive, nuclear, or pharmaceutical business. In terms of competition, we position ourselves uniquely in terms of the end-to-end and holistic approach to supply chain data management and in terms of our industrial focus. Our competitors are at the same time a potential exit partners. In terms of our business model, we operate as a scalable SaaS solution. We have multiple revenue streams and there is high customer lifetime value. Our team is our biggest asset. We are a team of more than 20, with Maria, our co-founder, having experience in banking industry, Matej being one of the pioneers of blockchain, and myself having extensive experience with Airbus and Airbus Defence and Space in various engineering and management positions. In terms of fundraising, we have raised up to now 1.1 million euros, and we are currently raising our Series A round of 7 million euros. We are a revenue generation company, and we will use the proceeds from our Series A to industrialize and commercialize our systems and to expand in terms of skills and competencies as well as geographies. So in summary, we develop blockchain-enabled software platform to transform aerospace supply chain data flows. We are solving current and pressing issues worth billions of dollars. We have our products at various stages of implementation with major aerospace companies. We are generating revenues, we have team in place, and we are raising 7 million euros in order to industrialize and expand our solutions globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Bianca, CEO of SpaceDots. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Bianca, CEO and co-founder at SpaceDots, the very first miniaturized commercial labs for advanced materials in space. Space is a multi-trillion-dollar economy coming to an inflection point. Think of commercial space stations, renewable energy generation, space manufacturing, orbital habitats. Enabling the foundational infrastructure and supply chain of this exponentially growing industry is going to require an entirely new class of advanced materials, able to withstand the harshest conditions of the future space missions. In fact, everything you send into space, down to the very tiniest patch of glue, is a novel material challenge and a new opportunity. However, the entire space industry has been running on a paradox for decades. Before you can actually use a new technology or material in space, it must be first tested in space. This is a problem that I've experienced myself as I was a spacecraft product manager for Airbus Defence and Space. My job was to develop advanced thermal solutions that will make the next generation telecommunication spacecraft and small sat constellations lightweight, faster, more powerful, cheaper. We realized that this problem wasn't just my problem, wasn't just an Airbus problem, it still is a widespread across all the multi-billion space industry primes, their suppliers, and ultimately their customers. In fact, advanced materials companies that are selling materials to the space industry can spend up to 15% of their annual budget on developing new class of materials that, after 10 years, can barely make it to the market. So, what the entire industry needs is a new paradigm. As much as you wouldn't test the reliability of a rain jacket in the sun, advanced materials for space need to be tested in the exact environment where they will be used. Space Dots will enable this paradigm shift. We will test all materials in space with our barnacle dot. The very first commercial, reliable, miniaturized solution that is able to speed up the advanced materials use in space at a fraction of the current cost and complexity. Looking at the landscape of the space R&D evaluation testing market, which is up to 18 billion spent a year, companies are approaching this market from multiple angles. There are microgravity platforms for research on biotech and pharma, space stations, R&D parks, in-space logistic companies providing low-cost, high-frequency access to space. Axiom Space and Voyager, for example, are set to deploy their first commercial stations by 2025. All of them will be our customers and partners because we are addressing a very specific and tapped segment of this market, which is the in situ testing of advanced materials in space. With our approach, we can in fact access 450 million a year of these 18 billion spent every year. We have signed LOIs already of 2 million. Our pipeline of industry customers and partners is growing as we speak. But how do we make money? So our customers are intended space industry primes and advanced material companies who need to develop and use materials in space. So our first revenue stream is coming from advanced material testing services and platforms for Earth orbits. We are then growing into in-space manufacturing process control. We will become the standardized testing capacity on every space stations, and we will then move beyond low Earth orbit, which is in situ resources utilization. But who are the people making this happen? Myself, as a CEO, and James, CTO, are the ones who had this problem in the industry and are now committed to solve it for the entire industry, alongside other excellent industry leaders who have joined us in this journey, and we will be able to grow our team as we go along. Where are we now and where we are going? So we were born in 2021. At the moment, we are raising a 2 million as a pre-seed. This will help us going through all the steps and milestones that we need so that we can start generating revenue in 2025. In summary, why Space Dots? We will enable the infrastructure of a multi-trillion-dollar economy. Our market validation is strong, and we are feeding our pipeline with industry primes. Our unique selling proposition is that we are the first commercial, miniaturized, scalable solution that is speeding up the time to market of advanced materials in space. Our world-class leading team is committed to solve the entire industry problem we've experienced ourselves. And at the moment, we are set to close our first round of 2 million by Q2 23, so that we can get to a revenue generation of over 5 million by Q4 25. Thank you for your attention, and do drop me an email if you have any questions.
Next up, we have Sefu, CEO of Reorbit, telling you more about how they plan to enable next-generation space applications. Take us away, Sefu.
Hello, I'm Setu, founder and CEO of Reorbit. Before starting Reorbit, I've been working for over 10 years in world-leading commercial and research organizations. And across these organizations, I've noticed something in common. The way satellites are built are always like a discrete entity in space. And Reorbit is changing this by making them interconnect with each other. We have already closed contracts over 30 million euros, put together a world-class team, and today we are looking for growth capital to further accelerate our scaling up process. Now let me go a bit deeper into the problem. October 5th, 1957, Sputnik, the first satellite, was launched. Being the first satellite, it revolved the Earth as a loner. Now 64 years have been passed, over 10,000 satellites have been launched. The irony is satellites of today are still revolving the Earth as a loner. They don't have the capability to exchange information or resources with its nearest neighbor. And this isolated way of building satellite systems is creating huge inefficiencies within the space industry today, as well as this is making space very non-resilient. And Reorbit is here to change the status quo using our Gluon satellite platform. Gluon is designed using a software-first approach, where we are building a set of software frameworks as a backbone of our systems engineering, and we treat hardware as a commodity. So whenever we get a customer, we look at their requirements, go to the market, procure the best-in-class hardware that exactly suits their requirement, and glue all these hardware on top of our software framework to build a satellite. Also, within our software framework, we are developing some functional libraries that enables Gluon to internetwork in orbit and also be highly autonomous in orbit. So once we have the ability to build a satellite that's autonomous and is able to connect with each other, we could start designing space systems as a node in a network of satellites rather than designing it as a discrete entity as we do it today. So can you imagine the big potential that we could unlock by making all the hundreds of satellite constellations that are very independently working off each other today to exchange information and data with each other? We have a stellar team of experts distributed over 3 geographical locations across the globe. And our leadership team consists of executives from top-tier companies such as AAC Clyde Space, ICEYE, Astroscale, and WinWap. We also have Mr. Jean-Jacques Dordain, the former Director General of European Space Agency, and Hughes, the former VP of Airbus Connectivity, sitting on our advisory board. Reorbit is gaining huge traction in the past couple of years, and we have already closed contracts worth over 30 million euros, both from the commercial and the institutional players. And this financial year, we have already generated revenues over 2.5 million euros. And based on our contracts, we are foreseeing an increase in our revenues by 100% in the next financial year. Today, we are also actively talking with a pipeline of over 400 million euros. Our business model is very simple. We design, manufacture, and sell satellites on demand. And today, the satellite manufacturing industry is worth 32 billion euros, and we are going after 10 billion of these 32 billion euros. The satellite manufacturers today can be broadly classified into 2 segments. On one end, you have classic space players who are building high-capable, high-cost systems, whereas on the other end, you have new space players who are building low-capable, low-cost systems. And both these way of manufacturing satellites are very discrete in manner. And what Reorbit is doing is bringing the best in class of both these worlds together. So we are building high-capable satellites with a lower cost, thanks to our software-defined approach that enables our satellites to interconnect and also autonomously operate. Since we have established Reorbit in November of 2019, we've been able to close multi-million-dollar contracts. We have also been able to generate cash flow positive revenues for over 2 consecutive years. Going forward, we'll be launching our first demo mission in 2023, and we'll be launching our first commercial satellite mission in 2024. We are also rapidly expanding our team and scaling up our operations. And we are very well in line with generating our target of 25 million euros ARR by 2024. To conclude, novel technology that makes satellites to interconnect with world-class team and strong traction has put us on a path of rapid scaling up process in the coming years. And now we are looking for partners to join us to make and build a sustainable and profitable space business. Thank you.
Thank you, Sethu. And now, concluding our UK-based cohort, we have Elevation Space.
Hi, I'm Ryohei, the CEO of Elevation Space. Our company is a spin-out from Japan's leading academic institute, Tohoku University. In space, research and development is significantly important market for our humanities in order to accelerate space development and our life on Earth, and the market is valued at multi-billion dollars. We are developing an innovative Earth returnable satellite to research and development inside a satellite. Our company consists of members who have led Japan's space development, and we are using technology that Japan Space Agency has been developed for decades. Let me explain our business in more detail. This picture shows the International Space Station ISS, where astronauts conduct various research and development activities. As we know, there is no gravity. This is unique to space. A low-gravity environment have a huge impact for various industries. For example, in the drug discovery process, researchers frequently crystallize protein to learn more about their structures. In the low-gravity environment of space, it is suitable to create high-quality protein crystal, and the process is dramatically improved. However, ISS has three major problems due to presence of humans. First, long lead time. Second, less frequency. Third, huge cost. Furthermore, the current ISS is scheduled to be retired in 2030 due to structural lifespan. So, we offer space utilization opportunities that are fundamentally different from conventional space station. We will provide dramatically user-friendly opportunities enabled by small unmanned Earth returnable and reusable satellite. This is our service ELSR. Here is the service flow. We will put the cargo or multiple users on our satellite, which will be launched. After the experiments are completed inside the satellite will return to Earth. We will recover them and deliver the cargo to the user. After that, we refurbish and reuse the satellite 10 times. Unlike many other satellites, our technology allows us to return and reuse satellite. This is a technology only limited number of private players use in the world, like SpaceX. Our approach is more realistic and user-friendly, like cheaper, easier, and more frequent compared to manned space station. Therefore, application and industrial area are very wide. The market could grow from $2 billion today to $7 billion by 2040. We plan to launch our first re-entry satellite ELSR-100 in 2025 and aim to provide full-scale services with a larger satellite ELSR-1000 in 2028. We have already raised $3.6 million in funding and will raise $24 million in Series A funding next June. Our first user has already been determined. It is Ugrena, a well-known Japanese biotechnology company, which will pay $50,000 for the first use. In addition, we have already acquired several MOU worth $10 million for the service satellite. Finally, this is our team. I have been selected as one of the Forbes Under 30 and brought together a team who have led Japan's space development. Our co-founder CTO has developed more than 15 satellites, and our chief engineer has led returnable satellite projects such as Hayabusa at Japan Space Agency. In summary, the market is valued at $2 billion and rapidly growing to $7 billion. We provide user-friendly services enabled by small, unmanned, Earth returnable and reusable satellite. We have an established team who have led Japan's space development. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohai. Now, before we continue with our US pitches, here's Ellie, Accelerator Manager at Generation Space, to tell you more about our plans stateside. Over to you, Ellie.
Thank you, Rob. 13 weeks ago, we used our in-depth industry expertise to scout the global market and identify the 5 most exciting space tech and deep tech innovators. They were invited to join our Mission 10 to accelerate their journey with us. Our Generation Space program is uniquely positioned to support their specialist needs by providing access to the best sector insights and investor readiness training program. During their time on the program, our cohort not only received bespoke operational, commercial, and financial support from the team, but also nurtured relationships with leading stakeholders in the space tech ecosystem, providing our startups with all the necessary tools to raise capital and scale. The cohort participated in a range of activities, including office hours, networking events, corporate insights days, seminars, and stargazing sessions. Mission 10 has been particularly exciting for us because it saw the completion of our first US program, Generation Space, which ran in parallel to our UK activities. This allowed us to leverage our vast American network. It is incredibly important to us that our teams are given the same access and opportunities no matter where they are in the world, and that they feel enabled to engage with key decision makers in different geographies. Mission 10 is a clear demonstration of how the startups have benefited from a cross-Atlantic collaboration and marks the beginning of a much larger global vision. We're therefore delighted to announce that we will be continuing our expansion in the US and continue to build on the strong foundation which we have already established. We're now actively looking for collaboration opportunities, so if you'd like to learn more, please get in touch. Over to you both.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ellie. With no further ado, we'll take you into our Generation Space pitches. First up, we have Nominal Systems. To tell you more, here's Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, the CEO and co-founder of Nominal Systems, the world's first digital twin platform for space, designed to make space simpler, safer, and more sustainable by making operating thousands of satellites like managing a fleet of cars. And we're actually already doing it, with customers like the UK Ministry of Defence selecting our products as the baseline modelling and simulation platform that they're using to help make billion-dollar decisions about future national critical space infrastructure. You see, modern cars like Teslas and satellites actually have a lot in common. For one, they're both in space. But more importantly, they're both complex systems that need to be continuously monitored and maintained to maximize their performance to ensure that they're safe to use. One of Tesla's secrets to success are digital twins, a unique one-to-one simulation that continually ingests real-world data to provide critical insights to customers about their cars. And the space industry desperately needs digital twins. Modern space missions are radically different from what they used to be. Instead of completely custom satellites that cost $1 billion and the size of a bus, companies are using a standardized supply chain to build thousands of satellites that work together in a constellation to solve global challenges. The problem is that 7 out of 10 of every satellite over the last decade has been a full to partial mission failure. To put some numbers on that, satellite failures have cost the insurance industry $11 billion in payouts over that period. So why are missions failing? It's a question that my co-founder and I asked ourselves when the second mission that we were involved with failed. We never heard from it. And after talking to hundreds of space companies, it turns out the answer to that question is pretty simple. While the way we design, test, and operate satellites has radically changed over the last decade, the tools that we use to do it are pretty much the same. This is costing companies time and money that they cannot afford. And our digital twin platform is solving this problem by transforming the space mission toolbox. By engaging the space supply chain, we're providing digital parts that help customers design the best systems faster. We use the Internet of Things technologies to make it easy to connect hardware to a safe-to-fail digital world in the cloud to make testing simpler. And just like Tesla, our digital twins can provide the unique insights operators need to make critical decisions when they need to. And we're already in the market today with 1.5 million in customer revenue. And we're building key partnerships with space traffic management organizations so that constellation operators won't want to operate without a nominal twin. And that's why customers are choosing us, because today's customers are selecting standard orbits and they need the tools to build the best systems. But they can't get those tools, so they're trying to build it themselves in-house, costing them time, money, and most importantly, risk that they cannot afford. We provide not only tools to help them build the best system, but set them up with the digital infrastructure that they need to scale. And that's what makes our business model so scalable, because every satellite needs its own digital twin. Because just like every car wears and tears differently, so does every satellite. So our business model is focused towards enabling customers to build successful missions that scale into constellations, where every satellite provides us with ongoing and recurring revenue, which is exactly where we want to be. By helping developers scale their concepts to constellations faster and more reliably, we're targeting an initial 1.2 billion ARR opportunity built around a monthly digital twinning fee of $1,000 per satellite per month. But that's just the start, because every satellite we twin provides us a unique data stream that we aim to commercialize, whether to be augmented with third-party services like space traffic management services, or to provide the reliability information to insurers so that they can avoid another $11 billion in insurance payouts over the next decade. Brenton and I have supported the design and testing of 4 in-orbit missions and 5 satellites. We've experienced the challenges and have built the team to solve the problem. Our advisors are world-leading, ranging from industry experts to tech entrepreneurs that have successfully brought companies to the London Stock Exchange. The time is now, and we're building the digital infrastructure the space industry desperately needs to succeed. We closed our pre-seed round at the start of 2021, completed our MVP, and signed up 5 customers with over $1 million in revenue today. We're now raising $2 million to put the infrastructure in place to scale out our business and build the marketing and scales functions to make it happen, and we've already got $500,000 in soft commitments to our seed round. So in summary, we're a SaaS company targeting a rapidly growing and underserved market, with our products already generating $1 million+ in customer revenue. And we have a clear pathway to sustainable ARR with significant growth opportunities. So if that sounds good, don't miss out, join our seed round, and let's make it happen. Thank you.
Next up, we have Norm from Terrace. Best of luck, Norm.
Hi, I'm Norm. I'm a 25-year tech entrepreneur with 3 successful exits. This is my latest venture, Terrace. We're a software platform delivering near real-time 3D situational awareness for anywhere on Earth from space. So every year, trillions of dollars are spent globally developing infrastructure in remote areas. 10% of it, and the terrain that it's on, is also altered, damaged, or destroyed by nature, climate, or conflict. In 2021, the US reported $145 billion in climate-related damage alone. So the Earth's terrain and the infrastructure on it is constantly changing. Companies and governments that own and manage this infrastructure spend billions on satellite image to figure out where to build it, maintain it, and to deal with issues. Amazing high-resolution imagery is becoming more available from modern satellite constellations, but it's flat. This is great for observation, but not for action. In order to fully understand situations on the ground so that we can act on them, we need 3D knowledge. However, this is very difficult to obtain and very expensive. So Terrace creates 3D situational awareness by automatically fusing on-demand satellite imagery into 3D virtual worlds. These 3D worlds immerse you into environments and situations almost like you were there. Think metaverse, except it's real. With its AI-based 3D change analytics, it also helps discover changes and issues that are not possible with 2D. This enhanced awareness helped companies and governments to explore opportunities and make critical decisions faster and more efficiently, saving money, time, and even human life. In our competitive landscape, we see in our periphery legacy situational awareness platforms on the market, along with satellite image providers that are offering 2D observation analytics on their own data. Since we integrate with any accessible modern constellation, fusing the most current imagery into 3D visual environments with the highest realism, we'll deliver the best financial value to our customers. Now, we'll make money in two ways. First, SaaS subscriptions with margins on image orders and insights generated, and secondly, an insights marketplace, where we'll provide high-value insights to our satellite partners and other customers. Now, our markets range across various sectors, managing disasters, monitoring infrastructure, exploring new energy opportunities, and defense and security. But here's how we'll start. We've already begun customer pilots in the North American renewable energy exploration market. Our second adjacent market is in transportation infrastructure monitoring, where we've begun early pilot discussions. We also continue to build credibility in the defense sector with innovation projects with Canada's National Defence Ministry. So we've been generating traction through pilot customers, building strong relationships with the best satellite constellations, and leveraging government innovation opportunities for long-term value and for current revenue. Now, we've built tech companies. I've built them with successful exits, large teams, and international operations. My co-founder, Tom, has a decorated military career and is a situational awareness and 3D visualization technology expert. So when we started, we bootstrapped this company for the first year. We closed a $700,000 pre-seed round in 2021, along with over $500,000 in non-dilutive capital, primarily from federal government innovation contracts and programs. This year, we secured customer pilots and released our prototype. Now, with the close of this investment round, we'll release our commercial V1 platform and begin generating ARR in 2023. So we're seeking a $1.5 million US seed capital to scale our product engineering and sales support. This round will get our version 1 product into market, generating revenue, and position ourselves for a Series A round in 18 to 24 months to scale sales and expand into new markets. So we're building the next era of situational awareness platform at a time when it's needed, with the right team, and with massive markets for long-term growth. We've validated our product market fit for our prototype with our pilot customers and have contract revenue booked for 2023. Your investment is the fuel for us to lead this exciting venture. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Norm. Heading next to Winnie and Auriga to tell you more about their revolutionary kinetic launch system.
Hi, I'm Winnie Lai, and I'm the founder and CEO of Auriga Space. In the next decade, more than 100,000 satellites from 200 different companies will be built. These satellites address critical missions, such as helping us fight climate change and bring connectivity to everyone in this world. Yet getting all these satellites into space will be challenging because we simply do not have the launch capacity to do so quickly. Launch is severely bottlenecked. At Auriga, we're building the most innovative launch technology since SpaceX to bring online some much needed capacity. We're going kinetic, and we have a talented team to do this. I was at Spin Launch, and I have had 2 tech exits. And we have some of the early engineers from the Virgin Hyperloop team, along with the inventor of the launch ring concept on our advisory team. In the last few years, we've seen an exponential increase in the number of satellites being launched into space. But for satellite operators today, getting to space is still challenging. There aren't enough launchers that launch regularly in the market, so it takes years to deploy an entire constellation. And despite the drop in launch costs, it is still very expensive to launch, making it difficult to build profitable business cases. And these factors aren't going to change because rockets are highly inefficient, and their architecture doesn't easily allow for a regular and frequent launch cadence. The space economy is expected to grow to $1 trillion by 2040. Launch is the critical infrastructure that enables this entire space economy. And because of that, we need to have reliable, low cost, and frequent transport to space, and we need to look beyond rockets. At Auriga, we're building a proprietary non-rocket launch system that is powered by electricity generated from the ground to accelerate small launch vehicle in an evacuated track that is kilometers in footprint. Once at launch speed, we fling the launch vehicles into space. This is a paradigm shift. We're providing launch without having to carry massive quantities of fuel. We can deploy much faster and cheaper than any other solution. We can deploy an entire constellation in weeks and not years, and we can do so at less than $1,000 per kilogram. Despite investments into rocket companies, none of them can get their launch costs down like we can, unless the companies invest tens of billions of dollars to build a Starship. We have an experienced team with proven track records that can execute this vision. We're combining years of experience in startups, electromagnetics, and hardware development. And we're joined by advisors, each with decades of experience in their respective fields, in aerospace, power systems, defense, and satellite development. We're building on the success of Project HARP, which in the 1960s managed to do gun launches thousands of times, getting as high as 181 kilometers. With our ground-based solution, we're able to provide dedicated launch at a fraction of the cost, launching multiple times per day. There will be no more delays from weather or from rideshare, or the need for a space tug to tow the payload to the right orbit after deployment. And entire constellations can be deployed quickly, cheaply, and sustainably. This system is perfectly suited to serve the growing number of satellite constellations. To date, less than 7% of the planned satellite mass from the 200 funded constellations have been deployed, making launch a $5 billion opportunity annually. And this is going to compound as more constellations are created and as old satellites need to be replenished every 3 to 5 years. This is a big engineering feat that we're taking on, but it can transform the launch market drastically within the next 6 years. And because the engineering is so disruptive, we can tackle other opportunities along the way. After the construction of the initial track, we can offer our capability as a test bed for hypersonic vehicle development. We'll then fundraise about $250 million to build up the full launcher for a 2028 completion. This may sound like a large number, but to put things into perspective, SpaceX spent over $1 billion on their Falcon 9 reusability program. We're raising our first round of funding in the amount of $3 million, with $1.25 million already in soft commits. We'll use the funds to expand the team so we can continue with our technical progress and build out prototypes. At the same time, we'll formulate our IP strategy and work with various defense groups to pursue non-dilutive funding. We hope you can partner with us to reshape the future of space launch. The future of launch is green, affordable, and responsive. Thank you.
Now we have the team at Cal Morris here to tell you more. Troy, take it away.
Hi, I'm Troy Morris, one of the co-founders for Cal Morris Inc., or KMI. At KMI, we are keeping space clear for all, with the company focused established in 2019 as we took our specialized careers and moved them forward from the technical labs where we developed them to the forefront of humanity. What we're bringing our technologies forth right are the addressing of orbital debris with a fleet of in-space capabilities. We're doing this because the $1 trillion market that we see overhead, that space superhighway, is at risk. We are facing debris that is growing exponentially and it doesn't behave rationally. It will continue to propagate exponentially even if humanity stopped all launches tomorrow. And they're not stopping those launches, nor is the debris stopping in its tracks. At 17,000 miles per hour, even a piece as small as your pinky nail has the impact velocity of a hand grenade. And I see very few of these spacecraft or spacewalkers going up there in armor. What we're doing on the ground is working to track this debris, but it's growing at such a huge rate of what we can track and missing those many pieces in between. Those lethal pieces are something that can be removed before they even begin. And that's why we're starting to work with the United States Space Force, where they'll pay by the ton to remove debris. And we need to focus on those large pieces before they become the lethal pieces as something that we can work with and do today. At KMI, we're taking our rideshare spacecraft to rendezvous and retrieve these large objects before they become those killers. The technologies are Laylaps, Tumbleye, and Reach, patent-pended and trade secret software that we are using to go that final kilometer and close the gap as we capture these large objects non-destructively, repetitively, and efficiently. Our company is focused on the orbital debris removal market as our primary market. What we're finding here is that from a 90 million SOM, that initial beachhead of capturing 5 significant objects a year, we're able to scale up to the larger markets and the secondary and tertiary markets as time goes on. Those initial customers, as you see on screen, are the United States Space Force, which KMI is already contracted with, NASA, which KMI is also working with, and a number of commercial entities, summarized by Munich Re and related entities operating in this space field. We'll also see those secondary markets of debris repurposing and debris data as we work as an in-space detector for these lethal and pre-lethal objects. Really, we're focusing on that unaddressed market, the 99.6 of debris that is uncontrolled, unprepared, and at this point, unaddressed. As a company, we've been addressing this since our beginning in 2019. We've recently been awarded and are completing the contracts for 3 US Space Force contracts worth almost $1 million. We also have been selected for an ISS demonstration going to the station next year. This station will validate the hardware as it floats with the astronauts, giving us the confidence to move forward to that full mission launch, that MVP in 2025. From there, we're looking at the revenue of those first captures, delivering to our customers, and moving towards a fleet scale expansion so that we can really be addressing multiple debris objects in multiple orbits at the same time. The competitive landscape is laid out with great friends, colleagues, competitors, but there really is a differentiation as we look at the existing objects and the universal capture. In those two essential aspects, KMI stands alone. We have great partners working on controlled objects that they can capture, docking systems that they can pre-install, or objects that are just specifically built with the pre-existing conditions they need. At KMI, we're working all the rest. The team is more than just myself. I come from a sales background in critical industries, and I'm supported by Austin, our Director of Engineering, who comes from a background with R&D at Army and the DoD, as well as Adam Call, who is our third and final co-founder, who brings his experience from NASA, working artificial intelligence machine learning. We lead a full-time team of 10 full-time individuals with over 60 years of experience. This most of a century experience is guided by our advisors from DoD, investment, and entrepreneurship. In this round, we are raising $2 million as a seed. This is planned as a convertible note to give us 24 months of runway to achieve the mission through the ISS and the development thereafter, so that on the ground we can prepare for that MVP coming forward. We already have 1.3 of soft circle investment on the table, and that is taking KMI from lab to LEO, as you see a little snapshot there of our KMI mission going on the Astra B and the ISS. To summarize, we're taking our specialized hardware, software solution, and addressing an unaddressed market. Great area to act in. We are taking the US Space Force contracts and the ISS contracts from lab to LEO, from both that demonstration you see in the middle left to the final flight in 2025. Thank you, and join KMI as we keep space clear for all.
Thank you, Troy. To round off our cohort pitches, we have Cameo of RIA Space Activity. Best of luck.
Your way of life depends on the nearly 5,000 satellites orbiting Earth right now. Each of these satellites requires the ability to navigate, and current solutions are vulnerable. Catastrophe ensues when satellites cannot navigate. So we have developed a resilient navigation solution for this critical infrastructure, which has been demonstrated in deep space and ready to fly today. My name is Camille Lance, and I'm a physicist and the COO of RIA Space Activity. I previously specialized in dark matter phenomenology, and today I lead a team which specializes in developing a module to provide primary and redundant navigation capabilities for satellites, airplanes, and re-entry vehicles. Everything from TV to military troop movement relies on GPS. Why? Each of these enabling satellites requires knowledge of where they are and where they're going. Spacecraft rely on GPS satellites for navigation. But GPS is vulnerable, as has been highlighted by the events this year in Ukraine. We've developed a module about the size of a pint of beer, which integrates into a spacecraft, divorcing it from its GPS reliance. Our module's secret sauce is a software suite that enables a technique called optical navigation. Now, optical navigation takes pictures of the environment and triangulates a spacecraft's location, not reliant on GPS. Our software suite was originally developed at NASA over 2 decades ago, and we have since added additional functionalities. The traditional solutions for navigating are down in the right-hand corner. They have lots of flight heritage, and they're exceptionally vulnerable. Europe uses Galileo, Russia uses GLONASS, and maybe the UK can use us. Navigation options that are less vulnerable are generally still in the concept stage, and this is where we shine. Our solution has flown on 18 deep space missions, making us strongly positioned as the only resilient solution with flight heritage. The unique selling proposition. Now, this is the easy part. We're commercializing NASA software, which was instrumental to missions including Spitzer Space Telescope and landing multiple rovers on Mars. Our team also sets us apart. From having the original developers of the code on our team to having experts who have flown spy satellite missions for the United States intelligence community. Our team knows how to get a mission done. And we've proven that we're still capable of getting things done. Since our founding in 2018, we have closed multiple government and commercial contracts to provide primary navigation capabilities to satellites in deep space and for re-entry vehicles. Moving forward, our system should be placed on every Five Eyes partner satellite going into space. Now, the market size. The global space industry is large and growing. Our total addressable market is the global satellite industry, which is valued to grow at about $280 billion by 2031. We provide our optical navigation capability to only the Five Eyes countries, making the serviceable addressable market about $140 billion. And within this, our serviceable obtainable market is really the position, navigation, and timing for satellites. This market is currently about $1 billion and is projected to grow to about $9 billion by 2031. Our business model is simple. We're focused on selling a product. At a unit price of $1.7 million and a unit cost of about $250, we have a large profit margin and the ability to scale cost depending on the customer. Our timeline here demonstrates concept validation and a ramp up in production. We intend to integrate our product with full fleets and constellations within 5 years. And we've been profitable since our founding in 2018. Over the past 4 years, we have developed this solution alongside commercial and U.S. government partners. Next year, we will deliver our first module to customers. We're now in a position to scale. The middle green dollar represents this raise, and the green dollar bill on the right of this timeline represents breaking into the aerospace market and potential mergers and acquisitions. Our team has experience with working missions of national importance, from being a part of building spy satellites to landing rovers on Mars. And this team is growing. In 2021, we were 4 people strong, as seen in this picture. And this year, we're already at 6 people, and we've got a new hire in processing. In summary, we're developing a module to ensure resilient navigation for critical infrastructure. This module is a piece of a backbone for satellites that enable your way of life. We have both government and commercial traction, and we are raising $5 million to unlock additional U.S. government funds and grow a team to develop a navigation system for satellites to remove the necessity and reliance on GPS. Thank you.
And that concludes all of our showcase today. Once again, a massive well done to everyone pitching. We're excited to see what the future has in store for each of these teams. With that, all that leaves us with is to say thank you to everyone involved making Mission 10 the success it is today. A special mention to our industry partners and network of investors who have been instrumental in the support and development of our teams over the last few weeks.
If you would like any more information on anything you have seen and heard today, please do get in contact with a member of the Accelerator team. We have been actively investing into our alumni, and we're really keen to invest and engage alongside you. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to welcoming you to the next Generation Space and Seraphim Space Accelerator event. From London, goodbye.